I'm just uploading this video as proof. I'm first pick on the right. I picked Revenant, and this is honestly a fairly good Revenant game, so I'm probably going to upload it to my channel as a decent Revenant game, as well as proof. So I pick Revenant, I call carry, and I would have been okay changing roles, but I was first pick, and nobody else called carry yet. It was at this point that carry was picked. Another carry on my team was picked, and this was Yin. So Yin picks carry, and then the other person locking in picks. Should do it in a second here. I'll skip ahead a bit. Picks FaZe, but says that she's picking FaZe middle, even though she picked FaZe as a support. Like, she called the support icon, right? So after that, it's fairly standard. We get a Grux off lane and a Crunch jungle. And I figure, okay, well, if Yin's a carry and FaZe is a really good support, because FaZe doesn't really have damage, and maybe FaZe mid works, but I didn't want a double ADC lane. I didn't see the point of that. So I said, I'll just mid, and I went mid. It was at this point that I was yelled at by the FaZe player, who decided to take it upon herself to tell me that she was in a 3-person group and she was going to report me along with her friends. So I'm like, oh, okay, that explains the lack of communication at the beginning, but we'll see how this match plays out. What if I can hide this? That's interesting. So this is about when she's like raging at me, and I'm just like, let's play the game. She's saying, I'm gonna let you die. I remember specifically, she said, I'm just gonna let you die. And I was like, well, I don't really plan on dying, so that works for me. More just her typing at me, like that right there. She tried to get me hit by her trap, and I figured she'd probably try to do it again, so I like ran really far up. I didn't want to be the same asshole, so I tried to get as far away from her as possible when I got hit by the trap. So here we get ganked by Steel. He misses his stun, which results in me living. So Crunch comes in to gank, and I notice that there's a fight happening between the FaZe and the Steel. So I'm like, I'm going to try and save FaZe and secure Steel. So I'm able to shoot him to slow him, but he still gets away, and FaZe dies. So I take healing tower, so I just sit underneath my tower. Don't really want to push up until I have the health to get it. FaZe comes back mid. Of course, she's trying to take my last hits. I'm still getting most of them, but she's trying to take them. Now, I killed her, but this is the first of many kills that she's going to say that I KS'd from her. At least I believe I killed her. If not, it's like some upcoming kills. I'm pretty sure I killed her, though. So here I decide to play Assassin for a little bit since I'm not welcome in mid lane. And I just want this guy to push up. And all the lanes are covered for the most part except left lane, but I can't really get over there in a fast manner, so I'm just going to let that one go. I try and get an opportunity to deal damage to him, but I just decide that I'll just take the tower, deal some tower damage. If he pushes up further, though, maybe I can get him. Gadget follows me over, and of course FaZe does not. So I see him here, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to try and get some damage on him. He takes a whole lot of damage. I believe he has to go back. Oh, no, he doesn't. My bad. So there I was kind of an asshole, and I stole the health buff. I mean, that's like totally on me. I was immature right there. I was mad that his friends were doing things. But to be fair, the health buff did allow me to grab a kill really soon. So here it is. I challenge him to a duel. I do that, and then we just have fun with the new Revenant buffs. The slow is so powerful. So that's another kill that I apparently KS'd. It's one of 3 kills that I KS'd, that I was called out for KSing. So I KS'd that kill somehow, according to the FaZe player, because I can't possibly get a kill by myself. So I'm covering the lane, health buff comes back up, I'll go ahead and take it for the gold and the XP. And then I back. So nothing special, just going back to mid lane because mid lane is being pushed. This is where I would be going even if I was carry in the exact same situations, because this lane needs to not take as much damage as possible. And of course I get yelled at for that too. I get called the most clueless Revenant she's ever seen. And I said, yeah, the 2-0 Revenant. So I go back to right because right is being pushed. and I see the potential for some easy kills. So I'm going to wait for him to teleport out. I'm going to E him, but then I wait for him to teleport, and then I root him with my ult, use my Q. And I get fairly annoyed because if I had just like actually hit my shots, he would have been so slow that I would have been able to kill him. So that's a kill that I dropped. Not a perfect player. Nowhere near perfect. Still trying to get somewhat decent. So I'm going to take the health buff again because it's up and no one else is taking it. And I'm going to take the mid buff, try and get some mana. Oh, rip, it's down. The map's not updating unless I update it, huh? So, FaZe slows. I do my thing as Revenant. I press Q. She's dead. I stole that kill, apparently. I don't really think FaZe could have taken it that fast, but I guess I could have let FaZe have it. I don't really see the point in letting FaZe have it, but that's where I said the clueless 3-0 Revenant. And that's when she told me that I stole all 3 of my kills. I think it's fine if Revenant does actually steal kills, just because Revenant is a character that snowballs really hard. I think any carry, it's okay if you just like steal a kill. I think, especially over a FaZe, not that that was my intention, but if I have to rationalize why I could have done something like that, it would be that. I think the levels and money are better spent on me than on FaZe, who's a very good support and has a really, really good root, especially after the latest patch. So I go over here. I think, okay, well, I don't see their jungler anywhere, so I'm going to try and take their red buff. And then FaZe comes over and starts doing it, and I figure, oh, well, FaZe is just going to try and steal it, so what's the point? And I leave the red buff behind. So this is the point in the match where FaZe decides to make it her mission. I don't know why I didn't kill that guy. I should have. Oh well. Maybe he was invisible. There we go. Oh, nope. Not enough range. But he'll die soon enough. I should have shot him. I don't know why I'm not like shooting him constantly during this entire like encounter. Like he has 0 health. Oh no, he doesn't have 0 health. It's a glitch. Okay, that makes more sense. It's a display error. That's unfortunate. So we're just going to push this tower. Decent move to make. I'm just targeting the tower. And like I said, FaZe has made it her personal mission to follow me everywhere I go. So I take the small camp, see that she's going to try and steal all my camps, so I run back. And I start backing. So this is where FaZe just completely leaves Yin to die. Because she wants to follow me. So because FaZe isn't there anymore, Yin just goes down, like, immediately. And this is the maturity level that I had to deal with throughout the entire match. And it gets worse. It gets worse. So I say, you know, oh no, that's not now. But I said, she said something along the lines of, you ruined the game by not playing the role that you picked. And I said, first of all, I'd blame Yin about that. Second of all, you following me around is what's ruining the game. So I come over here to defend this tower. I mean, not tower. To like quell, what's the term I'm looking for? To like thin the minions. So I see he's rooted, so I'm going to go ahead and E him. And I know that FaZe is trying to steal my kill, so I go ahead and challenge him. The shield doesn't matter to me. So I take the kill and we go home. I get bonus gold, which is awesome. FaZe, FaZe decides to keep pushing up. What the hell? I'm confused. I thought I had a crunch on my... Oh yeah, I did. Stupid. I saw the blue steel symbol, and I'm like, what? I didn't have a steel on my team, and I didn't. I'm not used to viewing replays, so that's my bad. Sorry for that confusion. So everything's going relatively well for me, personally. I'm doing pretty well in the game. I'm still being yelled at by FaZe for being bad. So I start to back, FaZe runs up to me to start to back too. So I stop backing, and I say, you know, instead of trying to measure dicks with me, we could actually just play the game, because I'm doing pretty well, and like the game could easily turn in our favor, and at this point FaZe says, go fuck yourself. So I just stand here, because if I stand here, she stands here, and then I back. And believe me, it gets worse. I'm just going to go ahead and... wonder why my cards aren't showing up. But as you can see, now I have Font of Experience, and I forget what this card is called. Guard Piercer. Sure, why not? So this is an interesting build that I've been running because it scales into late game really well. I find that the build that most players run on carries doesn't scale well into late game. It falls off. That's just my personal opinion. I do really well with this build, so I'm going to keep using it until it stops working. So I see Revenant here. I'm like, okay, goody, free kill. So I challenge him. I Q him, and he's dead. And I said, oops, sorry for kill stealing. Because I'm getting a bit mad. So I take that, and I need to thin out the herd of minions, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Thankfully, her other teammates were, like, actually playing the game, which is nice. And our Crunch, who wasn't part of their group, as far as that player told me, the Grux, her, and the Yin were all in one group. So I come in here, I'm like, I could probably kill the Steel, he's pretty low in level. So I just start shooting him. I let FaZe have that kill. And then I see another person come in, and I'm like, I can't really deal with him because Warriors have been buffed out the butt, and I can't really deal with him at the moment. I'm not spec'd to. And Yin dies and says, you left me alone to die. And while it's true that I was near but didn't help, I didn't not help because I'm an asshole. I didn't help because if I had stayed, I would have died too, and that wouldn't have helped anyone. I would have left regardless if my best friend was FaZe at that point. I'm not really good at the commands, so I didn't say retreat. I need to learn the commands. That wasn't on purpose. I would have said retreat. Regardless of what this FaZe is doing to me during this game, I would still like to win this game. So I've been relatively nice to the rest of my teammates. So here is the Feng Mao running away. I just slowed him. I tried to slow him so that my team could maybe catch up. I see that that's not going to happen, so I start to back off. and just deal with the minions. So here, I didn't notice that I was inside of her ult. I took a bunch of damage there, even if it's not showing up. I took a bunch of damage, and realistically, I should have kept running. But I saw him coming, and I'm like, maybe I can take him out, because he had fairly low health at that point. I think he'll die soonish. No, he's not going to. But I really should have just kept running. So this is our first team fight, and it was not a good one for us. I wish that health display bug would go away. So let's go over to Yin while I'm respawning. Wow, there's a lot of bugs with this replay system. So Yin is trying to take an inhibitor, which would have been really good for us. But Revenant comes and stops her. Alright, so I move over to left lane to protect it because the minions are piling up. So at this point I have Cryo Soldier, so I'm using my reload intentionally early, because using your reload early counts as a skill. So I'm able to proc Cryo Soldier with it. So I see the Feng Mao is here. I decide to bring him into the Shadow World so that he can stop attacking our inhibitor with the hopes that our team would like kill the minions. And then he goes down. Maybe that was a misplay from me. I thought it was a decent play, but it didn't seem so. It seemed like maybe my team would have killed him earlier had I not done that, and that's a shame, but I thought I was making the good play for the team. That's unfortunate that I made that decision that might have been wrong. But he died regardless. We see Steel on the Fangtooth, so I try and slow him with my E, and now I'm slowing him, and I tried to Q him, but the buff was there, which is unfortunate. So I see that FaZe wants to continue this fight. I don't know about continuing the fight, but then I see Crunch go in. I'm like, okay, this is a good fight. So I just start blasting away with my Q and with Cryo Soldier, just slowing everyone down. And we end up with a really good kill. I see FaZe wants to steal this, so I go ahead and secure it with my Q. I did get the buff. It doesn't show that I have it, but I did get it. So here I just am fucking with FaZe because we're not doing anything anyway. And I don't notice the minions that are going to the core. I don't notice them, and that's a shame because I'm doing this. I don't notice them. I start to notice them, so I back immediately. I don't know why it's not playing the back animation, but I am backing. Okay. So I stop what I'm doing, I go forward to try and clear the minions. There's a lot of animations not playing on my character right now. This replay system is very bugged. So this is the point in the game where the FaZe decides to grief me by constantly tugging me. And this is the rest of the game. So from here until the end of the game, this FaZe decides to just continue to tug me. So here I spawn and I say, I hope your friends are proud of how mature you're being. And she just responds with, like, smiley face, go fuck yourself. I'm like, okay. Yep, she's just constantly tugging me for the rest of the game. I'm going to go ahead and jump. Let's see, where are we? So nothing happens for quite a long time, so I'm just going to jump ahead. So finally FaZe left, no, FaZe went and died, I believe is what happened. Yeah, that's what happened. So this guy jumps into the tower and then stays around. So I'm like, okay, you're dead. So I run out of bullets, he jumps up, and he comes back, which was a huge mistake, because he could have got out if he didn't come back. So I challenge him to a duel so that the minions aren't there, and kill him. So I just killed him amongst a group of minions because I used Revel, and here we go, just being pulled by FaZe. So here's where I believe, yeah, I got my first power tap. So the reason I go into this build, which is Cryo Agent, which gives me slowing after skills, OPD Militia, which gives me basic attacks, cost mana, but they add an additional 120 damage, and Swamp Stalker, which deal 30 bonus damage when you have an ally hero nearby. That's my build. It works really well, but the reason I go Intelligence with this build is because I can get Power Tap. Power Tap, I think, is low-key the most broken card in the game, because you can do it unto an infinity, and that's basically what happens starting at this point in the game. Every time I get 4k gold, I back and I get Power Tap. So there I try and like sever the link by backing, but I don't really know how FaZe's link works. Apparently she can just link whenever she wants, and there is no cooldown. So he jumps on me, I like destroy the crap out of him. Steel comes in, I try and avoid the gadget ult. So here I'm just attacking anyone that's in my range to attack. Just doing ADC things. Revenant challenges me to a duel, so I fight him. And my Q finally comes up, and we both kill each other. So I got a triple kill off that, and when I died, I said, boy, I sure am holding back my team. Because I was a force in that fight. I did a lot of damage, and I took out a lot of people, and I got a lot more gold. So, as you can see, I don't know how much gold I have at this point, but I'm going to try and wait and see until it happens. I believe that I have enough to power tap again. But right now I'm 11, 2, and 3. The FaZe is 3, 4, and 10. The Grux is 3, 7, and 1. The Yin is 1, 4, and 1. And the Crunch is 6, 3, and 5. Now, I don't have any problems with their score at all. I only bring it up because the whole point of what FaZe was telling me is that, you know, I'm terrible and I'm trash and I'm throwing the game. And I'm currently the player doing the most work on the team according to the scoreboard. And I don't believe the scoreboard is a very accurate representation. Oh, this was interesting. So I thought she was going to be dead. I was hoping that she wasn't dead because, like I said, I still want to win the game. And thankfully, it looks like she was able to avoid a bunch of knives, which is really nice. So I finally respawn, I believe, yeah. So, alright, I need to go back. Okay. So I come out of the thing, I see that Grux is in danger. I'm like, okay, I can go help Grux, I can go help Grux, and then I get tugged. If Grux's friend didn't tug me, I would have won that. Now this was unfortunate. I was unaware that they had changed the cancel. They changed the cancel button to F instead of left control, and I was really used to left control being the cancel button. So I was just stuck in my cast my ultimate pose because I couldn't ult him because I was already in the Shadow Realm. So I was just stuck in that pose, and I died. And it's my fault. It was player error. And, I mean, I wish I had known that they changed the cancel command to F instead of left control. I'm going to see if I can fix that, because I'm just used to left control. And that's really unfortunate that that happened. That wasn't even the phase's fault. That was entirely my fault. And that's just unfortunate that I made that mistake. I'm also using OPD Militia and Cryo Agent because they were buffed in this patch. I used them prior to the buff. I thought that they were a really good set of cards to have on an ADC. But now that they got buffed, I'm especially going to use them. So I go left because I see these minions are piling up, and they'll attack our core. So here again, I'm just like purposely reloading and using skills so that I can get AoE shots with Cryo Agent. See, there's an AoE shot. Every time you see that pulse, that's an AoE shot. See? So they're getting screwed over there, and I can't really go help them because I'm protecting this lane, but I try my best to leave and go. So I challenge him to a duel because that roots him. And then Revenant challenges me to a duel because he thinks he can kill me, which maybe he could have. So I'm just sitting here waiting for Steel to become visible to me so I can kill him. So I do. So I come out of that engagement with 2 kills, and of course I get tugged. Because of course. So as you can see, I buy a power tap. And then I use it. And then I put Swamp Stalker back on. So I gain 15 power every time I do that. Of course, I get tugged the second I leave. Just again, trying to get AoE shots so I can deal with the creeps faster. Crunch gets a nice kill there. Crunch is doing really good. At least I believe that was Crunch getting a kill. And of course I get tugged again. Which is okay, because I needed to go defend mid anyway. So finally FaZe leaves me alone, so I go and farm right lane in peace. Trying to get enough to get another power tap and also push out the lane.
An enemy has been slain.
Yep, I get another power tap here, so that's another 15 power. For some reason it said me and Crunch had the same cards for a second there. I accidentally pressed Q on the way out. I'm not sure why I did that.
An enemy has been slain.
Crunch gets a decent kill, I believe. That's who got that kill. I can't really tell without the notifications. I'm pretty trash. I wasn't looking at the map at the time. So I just start farming more minions. Trying to push the lane out. I don't see any imminent threats happening. Crunch is doing Fangtooth, and that seems to be going well for him. And we get Fangtooth. And now Crunch is in trouble, so I start to run that way. Thankfully, FaZe is dead for another 50 seconds-ish, 40 seconds. So I try to make my way to the fight that's happening, or that's gonna happen. I don't see where they are because they're not on my map, so I run in and I'm gonna go ahead and do red buff. So I don't think I can fight Feng Mao head on, so I ignore him. But I see that there's potentially a fight near... Actually, I don't. Oh, no, I'm terrible. I don't see that there's a fight at Orb Prime. I just try and defend left. I guess that's probably the better plan. Just because, you know, the core is more important than Orb Prime. If you get Orb Prime and your core dies, you still lose the game. And, of course, FaZe is back, and the first thing FaZe does is tug me. Again, just using abilities so I can get the AoE clear. I see Steel here. I think he's an easy target. I pulled him into my Shadow Realm and tried to kill him, but I'm doing bad. I finally kill him. Or actually, I don't even know if I killed him at that point. And then he teleports onto me. I kill him fairly easily, but Feng Mao is going to take the, like, 2 hits left to kill me. Again, health glitch. And they finally take our core. Now that was the game. As you can see, I was 14, 3-3. I did very well that game. And I'm going to get 3-man reported for it. Apparently. I really hope that the friends that the FaZe was with realizes what a terrible, horrible person the FaZe was. And that they don't report me. But if they do report me, I'm keeping this video as evidence that it was a malicious reporting. And that I didn't do anything wrong. And it's really sad, because otherwise it would have been a really fun game.